Well, first of all, Merry Christmas. I hope each one of you is having a wonderful holiday and Christmas season. Many of you probably have something sitting around your house that looks something like this, a nativity scene. I know that in our house we have several. I got one from the pastor who married us. It was a handmade nativity scene from the Philippines. We have one that is kind of a children's set, and all the characters are smiling. Even the camel and the sheep are smiling. And sometimes I wonder if we portray a false image of what really the nativity scene really was 2,000 years ago. What the world that Jesus Christ entered into, what it really was like. Was it perfect? Was it ideal? Was it the Christmas that we keep trying to create for our family? Or was it a mess? I believe it probably was the latter. Jesus Christ entered the world into an utter mess. He came and he entered the world into a situation that Joseph had to be confronted by an angel not to divorce or end the engagement of his to-be wife, Mary. There was conflict from the very beginning. He was born into a manger, not in a plush castle. The King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And where did he end up? In a manger. And I imagine it was stinky and it was smelly. It was cold. I imagine the cows or the sheep were coming up and probably licking him. But it's so hard to recreate. And so instead we make it look like this. My favorite movie, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Chevy Chase's character constantly trying to create a perfect and idyllic Christmas vacation for his family. And of course, the comedy comes from everything that goes wrong. And so I wonder if sometimes your hesitation with your faith comes because you believe that your life has too big of a mess. Your holiday season, your Christmas, is a little too messy for Jesus. And is it possible that maybe the real story of Christmas is that God chose to send his Son and your Savior and my Savior into the biggest mess of all? The author of Matthew quotes Isaiah as he sums up the Christmas story, and he says in Matthew 1:23, he says, "Look, the virgin will conceive a child. She will give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel," which means God with us. Not God for the perfect, not for the super religious, or not God from a distance. God with us. I believe God's entire story for how he was going to interact with mankind through his Son came and started in a mess. I don't believe it looked quite this way. And I know my life doesn't, and I'm sure yours at home doesn't either. So I want to extend a little bit of grace to you in the same manner that I believe God extended his grace to us through his Son. And that is to invite Jesus into your mess this holiday season, this Christmas. Instead of trying to have the Maxwell House commercial, perfect Christmas. Embrace the mess that you have in your life and embrace the mess that God chose to enter the world and to be a part of our lives. Embrace the Son of Man as Emmanuel, as God with us. Thank you and Merry Christmas.